Odrick, his status changed after he got in trouble?
Who?
Jared Odrick, has his status changed after he got in trouble?
Well, no, Jared's been a pretty good kid. He came to me, he called me up right after it happened the next day, and we talked it out. You know, he obviously had too much to drink, and it was Saturday night, and for the holiday night. You know, right now, he's okay, you know, he only gets so many shots, though.
Joe, where is Brandon Ware at in terms of his weight? And
Well,
his...
Brandon Ware is at 345 pounds when he ought to be at 320 pounds. Brandon's had a little back problem. So he's really, he practiced the other day. He missed some winter workouts in the sense that the drills that we were doing, but we have bikes out there, you'll see the kid, they pump that bike when they can't run. And he's had some back problems. But I think he's, you know, I haven't seen enough of him yet. That's why it's spring practice. It's a fun kind of time because you don't know what you're going to see. You know, you just got to keep taking looks at different guys. But Brandon's got a way about him. I think he's got a chance to be a good football player. But he's got to lose some weight. And to his credit, he's lost weight. He was 360 once, and he's down to 340 now. I'd like to see him about 320. That may be tough to do, but we'll see.
Joe, not to belabor your contract, but the clause in the contract, it was never clarified who put that in there and why it's put in the one.
What clause?
The one that says either side can either extend or shorten the length of the
I
contract.
don't.
What does it mean?
Doesn't mean that thing as far as I know. I didn't even want a contract, but I was more concerned about a lot of other things besides Joe Paterno.
So that wasn't, you didn't ask to have that clause put in, they did,
Who did?
the other, the university.
I didn't even register.
No,
In fact, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Joe, at wide receiver, you got a lot of guys, some experience last year with Brackett and Zug and Moye. How do you feel about that position?
Well, Moy hasn't had a lot of experience. Zug and Brackett, you know. I think we, you know, there again, in fact, I don't even know we're having a press conference. I told Guido, where do you guys want to come up here and hear me give you a gobble of whoop? I don't know. I got to see these guys. I think there's potential there. And I think that there are 4 or 5 kids, you know. You guys don't mention Powell. Powell might be the most gifted of them all. I don't know. We'll have to see if he can catch the ball consistently. He's got the great speed. So, you know, I'm as in the dark as you guys are. I wish I could tell you, hey, yeah, this guy. Right, I can't. I couldn't even tell you what our first string offensive line is going to be.
here's something you can answer. Bowden, Florida State, what happened with them? It looks like he may lose 10 or something wins. Obviously, I know you don't care about the wins thing, but have you talked to him, and what do you think he's going through right now?
Bobby's a good guy and a great coach, and if, you know, nobody wants to win by default or anything like that. I don't think that should have anything to do with Bobby's record. I don't think Bobby had much to do with what happened. So I'm not paying attention. We played Oklahoma in '71, and they had an ineligible guy, and they had to forfeit the game. I've never taken credit for the game, and I want to do it. I mean, I don't think that's, well, you guys have got to write stories, but I don't really care about that thing. I just hope people don't distort what a great coach Bobby Bowden's been, which he has been.
Joe, is the place kicking job wide open at this point, and what do you want to see from
Well, I would think somebody's got to beat out Colin Wagner. I think Colin did a good job last year when we used him, particularly kicking off. I would think somebody's going to beat Colin now.
Yeah, how comfortable are you with Wisniewski moving over to Hugh's spot on the offensive line? How's he
Fine. He was a backup center and really last year he played guard and center, and he's a smart kid and he can do both. I think we'll be okay there.
In terms of leadership, though, I mean,
Oh,
yeah. Stability there.
Yeah, Wisniewski comes from a football family. You know, his uncle was a great player here, and his father was a great player here, and both of them were pro football players. So young Wisniewski went, he'll be fine.
Can you talk about the backup quarterback position behind Clark a little bit? Some of the candidates that you're
I
looking at there?
mentioned, right now, there are only two kids we're probably working with, and that's the McLean kid who's from up in the Scranton area, he's a walk-on. Who I really, he did a great job on our scout team last year. And the kid we brought in, who started in January, a kid by the name of Newsom.
Joe, will you hold anyone out of practice for injury reasons? Is anyone going to miss the spring practice?
Lee probably, I mean, I'm not gonna have the legal in there. We have a tough scrimmage, keep them in there for 25 plays, 30, but no. I think we have to play that by ear. There's a couple other kids, there's Klopas isn't gonna be able to go, Green isn't gonna, we have a whole mess of kids. We have 10 kids that can't go. Now, 5 of them will walk on, but there's Carter and Green and Klopas and
Hayes,
who?
Jerome Hayes.
Hayes is out of it, and there's a fifth kid.
Landholt?
Probably, yeah. Who?
Is that Landholt okay to go? Dennis Landholt? He had an injury in the
Yeah, Landau's
Rose
all
Bowl.
right.
How about Evan Royster? He left the Rose Bowl game. Evan Royster.
Royster's okay. The 5 guys, I get that.
Stephon?
And then 5 are walking.
Stephon Green?
He said Green.
Green, Carter, Hayes, Klopas. Who the devil's the
Are you looking at Sean in the middle linebacker?
Sean,
Sean Lee,
in the
inside.
middle? Well, I think, one of the things about keeping him out gives us a chance to look at all the other kids. We've got some good, really good athletes at linebacker. Now, whether they're good football players, I don't know yet. But as far as, watching them do things athletically and timing them and things like that, we've got some pretty good athletes.
But looking forward, do you see him at inside linebacker, Sean?
Well, again, it will depend on how the other kids come. Lee can play inside or outside. Lee's darn near good enough to be a strong safety athletically. So, you may be tempted to play him outside. Right now, if we were gonna suit up tomorrow, probably play inside. So we find out some things about the other kids.
Joe, last season, Sean, I guess he counted as one of the players you brought along on the road, I guess against the amount of players you're allowed to have on a travel roster, I guess. What went into the decision to bring Sean along in every away game and kind of include him while he was hurt last season?
Well, we brought him along because he's got so much leadership qualities. He was great. We roomed him in a room with another kid and the whole bit. And I felt we owed it to him. I just think he's been such a good kid. We brought him along. Of course, that's one of the numbers we were allowed to take on the road. But we really weren't forced into a situation where we had to leave somebody home that should go in order to take Sean. So it really wasn't a problem. And Sean, as I said, Sean's mature. He's been around, knows the game. He's got a great way with people. He's a real asset, off the field as well as on the field.